Good morning, sir. I'm THN, the group leader for this group. I have 3 group members in my group, which are Yaktomi, Anjuni, and Nuichan. The 2 tools that we decided to use for network monitoring are iPerf and Nagios. So the next video is about our group discussion. Alright, so today's meeting we will talk about the tools we are using for our network performance testing. We have few options to choose, which are Nagios, Ichinga, iPerf, and PLDG. So now we will discuss what we think would work best for our project. I will start with Nagios since I've been researching for that. Okay, so Nagios is mainly used for network monitoring, not so much for active performance testing. It helps us track things like server uptime, response time, and overall network health over time. So it's really useful for alerting us when something's wrong. For example, if a link goes down or if a device stops responding. The downside is that it's not great for measuring things like bandwidth or packet loss. There is more about monitoring the state of the network.
Right, and Ichinga is a bit like Nagios, but a little more modern. It has a better web interface and support more customized alerts, which could be useful for monitoring network health. Although, like Nagios, it's not really designed for active performance testing like we need for our experience, and it is not focused on providing detailed real-time metrics for things like bandwidth or latencies. This makes it less ideal for the active performance testing part of our projects.
Exactly, and that's where iPerf comes in. iPerf is all about performance testing, and it's also focused on like bandwidth, latency, and packet loss, things that show us the real-time speed of our network connection. Like we can also use it to test like throughput between two devices under different network conditions. Like for example, if we want to see how the network performs in multiple parallel connections or like different packet size, iPerf is perfect for that. The downside, it doesn't really help with long-term monitoring or alerts.
Okay, for now is the PRDG. For my research in the PRDG tools, which is a bit of both, it's primarily used for real-time monitoring, but it has a nice feature for bandwidth analysis as well. It can measure things like data transfer rates, latency, and packet loss, but it is not on focus performance testing as iPerf. PRDG excels more at providing a holistic view for the network, including things like traffic flow and device health.
PLDG does sound like a more comprehensive tool, but it's not really precise for testing network performance. So for our project, I think the best combination would be iPerf for active testing and Nagios for long-term monitoring. What do you all think?
I agree. iPerf will help us to guess the exact number of bandwidth and latency, and Nagios will keep track of the network health during our testings. They complement each other very well.
Definitely, and since we are doing a performance-based test, iPerf will be the tools that give us the actual data about how the network is behaving. Nagios will just keep an eye on it to make sure things that are not ongoing issues during the testing.
Okay, for now I have a suggestion. We will use iPerf for the performing testing and Nagios for monitoring. Seems like a solid combination. And do you all agree for this suggestion?
Yes, I agree. Okay, great. So let's plan a due date for our project.
I think the due date is in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, we'll still have time, but we should get started soon. We will need to install the tools, run the test, and gather the data.
How about we plan for a meeting next week to make sure everything is on track? And maybe we can go over the initial test result and discuss how to present or simulate the tools.
Sounds good. Let's meet next Wednesday at 3 p.m. to review the setup and share any progress. I will set up a Google Meet link.
Perfect. I will start with a Nagios setup this weekend and we'll sync up next week.
Awesome. Looks like we have a plan. Thanks everyone for the great discussion. I'm confident this combination of iPerf and Nagios will give us the results we need for our project. Thank you, everyone.
Good day to sir, my name is Chong Yi, and I will present on how to use the iPerf tools to test and monitor the network performance. But before that, I will use this kind of command, which is called sudo apt update to update the software first in Ubuntu. After that, I will use the sudo apt install to install the iPerf 3. After we successfully install the iPerf tools, then we can use the iPerf tools to test and monitor the network performance. So now I will use the code which is called iPerf 3 -s. Now from the output, we can see that the server is listening on 5201, which means that now the client will test and show the network to the server which is on the 5201 port. So now after I type the command, now I will wait for the client to send the message to the server. As you can see now, the output has shows that the client has sent and show the message to the server. And then that's all for my part. And now I'll pass it to the next presenter.
Good day, sir. My name is Tan Chun Ling, and for my part, I will explain the code and the results. So this command is used to run an iPerf 3 test where -c specific the client's mode and 192.168.0.27 is the server IP address. And the -t times option sets the duration of the test to 10 seconds. During this period, the clients will send the data to the server and the network performance will be measured. So the output shows the various static characters in every second during the test intervals. For each second, you can see the transfer. The transfers means the amount of data transferred during that seconds, and by trace is the speed of the data transferred in kbits per second or mbits per second, and the RETRs the number of the retransmissions, which indicates packet loss or network issues, and CWND is the size of the congestion window, measures on how much data can sense before needing an announcement. And now I will try another commands, which are Apple 3 dash C 192.168.0.27 and minus P dash P tens. These commands use the dash P option to initiate multiple parallel connections. In this case, it's 10 parallel streams to the server's IP address. The test will distribute the data across 10 streams, which can help assess the total available bandwidth for the connections. And the output is indicated into sections for each parallel streams. It shows statistics for each streams in terms of transfer, by trace, and retransmissions. In the summary, at the bottom of the output, you will see the total transfer and combined by trace for all 10 streams. That's all for my part. Thank you. And now I will pass it to the next presenter.
Good morning, sir. I'm Barry Tongshan. So now I will talk about the configuration and installation of a second tool, which is Nagios. So basically, this is the full command for Nagios, and this is the important commands for the installation. So after install all this, right? So I need to download Nagios plugin, which I already installed before using the Nagios. After that, I already set up the username and password to access Nagios. So now I will proceed with the configuration. So for this command, it's actually to open up the Nagios file. So inside this Nagios file, we can either use the switch configuration file, router configuration file, or others. So I'm using the switch file. So now I will open the switch configuration file. So I changed the name into S01. So I also changed the IP address. After that, I enable the service so that I can monitor these three services. So then I will proceed with the commands configuration file. So I add these two commands inside this configuration file. The last one is resource configuration file. So for the configuration file, I enable the I add in the plugin this part inside. Yeah, that's it for my part. Thank you, sir.
Okay, now we enter the Nagios website. Okay, in this service, this is the Nagios current status page where we monitor the live performance of our network host and service. As we can see, service like HTTP and the ping are running fine. This allows administrator to take immediately action when an issue occurs. Okay, so we connect to the S01. The ping, the port status, and the uptime is okay. For the first, we enter the ping and see the status of ping. The status all of the ping is okay and the packet loss is 0%. And next we enter the status detail. It's okay too. The alert history, okay. Okay. The threads for the service, okay. For just now is critical, cannot be connect, but for now can connect. Okay, for the alert histogram and for the availability report, okay. For now is the okay status. For just now is warning and the critical status, but now is okay. Okay. For the second port status,
port status is OK. The SNMP will OK. The status detail, alert history, threads for the service, alert histogram, availability report. For the last is uptime. The uptime, the SNMP show OK. The status, the alert history, the threads, histogram, and availability of the report. That's all of our presentation, and thank you, sir.
From this device, which is 192.168.0.27, which is acts as a server, and from this device, the host name 192.168.0.26 is act as client, and from the device, this one also act as a client device, and the others one also act as a client device. So now from this device, which is act as a server, now I will run the code. And after I run, it shows the server listening to 5201 output. And now from the client side, I will run the code. And after I enter, which can shows that from the client side, the message is sent to the sender, which is act as a server side, the devices. And now you can see the result output, which is from these devices. And now from the next device, which is from the hostname 0.29, after I press enter, the result also will display. And from the server side, also can view the result from the device of the hostname, which is called 0.29. And now from the last device, after I press enter, the message has successfully sent, and from the server side also can receive the sender message. And that's all from us.
Okay, for now, this PC is the host. For the host, okay. And the second PC will show the ping of the host and the IP address of the host just now for the PC1. Okay. And the third PC, as you can see, the three status of ping, port status, and the uptime is okay. And the last PC also, you can see the ping, the port link status, the uptime, and then as you can see, you enter it, the ping will be the host IP address.